Welcome to our exploration of Numbers chapter 25. This deeply dramatic chapter is a powerful testament to the destructive nature of spiritual compromise, and it shows us exactly what happens when one person has the courage to draw a hard line to save their community. The story begins with the Israelites camped at Acacia Grove to rest, but what was supposed to be a peaceful encampment quickly turns into a massive spiritual downfall as the men defile themselves. Unstructured downtime after a long, grueling sprint leaves a team highly vulnerable. Without a clear mission to pursue, people often seek toxic distractions to fill the void.
This was a carefully laid trap. Local women invited the men to their sacrifices, and the men accepted, feasting and worshiping Baal of Peor. Ideological compromise rarely starts as an outright attack. It usually begins as a friendly, comfortable invitation to share a meal and gradually blend cultures until your core values are completely compromised. God's anger blazes. He orders Moses to seize the ringleaders and execute them in broad daylight to turn away the divine wrath. When systemic corruption threatens an organization's core identity, leadership must publicly target and remove the high-level ringleaders who initiated the compromise, rather than just punishing the low-level followers. As executions are ordered, a devastating plague breaks out. The community plunges into deep mourning, weeping at the entrance of the tabernacle for mercy. A healthy community does not ignore its failures. It responds to the deadly consequences of its own systemic drift with profound, collective, and visible grief. But right in the middle of this sorrow, an act of shocking rebellion happens. Zimri, a respected Israelite leader, brazenly brings a prominent Midianite woman into his tent, right in front of the weeping crowd. Toxic, entitled leaders will often flaunt their bad behavior publicly during a crisis, mistakenly believing their elite status makes them immune to the rules governing the rest of the team. Witnessing this blatant disrespect, Phinehas jumps up, leaves the weeping assembly, takes a spear, and executes a swift, decisive judgment on the couple. Extreme organizational decay cannot be stopped by passive grief alone. It requires an individual with the zeal to step out of the weeping crowd and take swift, definitive action to cut out the infection. Because of this zealous act, the plague that killed 24,000 people immediately stops. God rewards Phinehas with an eternal covenant of peace. Paradoxically, the most aggressive, decisive actions taken to protect an organization's core integrity are exactly what establish long-term, sustainable peace and security for the entire community. Finally, God commands Moses to attack and destroy the Midianites for assaulting Israel with deceit and trickery. To prevent a recurrence of a toxic breach, you cannot just patch the internal wound. You must actively confront and dismantle the external source of the deceit that tried to bring you down. This chapter vividly illustrates the deeply redemptive power of zealous devotion to the truth. This leaves us with two important questions to chew on today. First, is your team currently in a period of unstructured rest that might be exposing them to toxic compromise? And second, when blatant disrespect threatens your core values, do you passively grieve the problem, or do you step up to take decisive action? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.